All right, just want to remind everybody that all Township Council meetings will be audio and video taped, and they'll be shown on the Townships of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22, on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Council members Zajara?
Here.
Kaplan
Here.
and Talarico.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 18th, 2025. We have a couple of items for discussion with our engineer, and then we are going to go into closed session because there are about 3 or 4 items that we need to discuss in there. So, Greg, I'm going to turn it over to you for various township projects first, and then matters.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Did you send everybody a copy of my list?
Yes.
I did.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
I got you covered.
Okay.
Very nice.
I
Yeah.
did
Have a
check
nice
in.
night. We're done.
I'll see you next month.
Regularly.
It's a nice touch. I like it.
Yeah. Okay, the 24 program that's in, we're going to be starting at mid-March, assuming the weather gets better, which it's supposed to. 25 program, we're finishing up surveying a couple of the roads that got a little delayed because of the snow, but we did get our NJDOT approval for Poplar Phase 2. That's what slowed us down last time. It took them 7 months to get us that. They're getting them out much faster now. They hired a few people. The 26 program, I've got the list prepared. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to Dave. He could probably send everybody a copy of the list. Fireman's Pond dredging. We received quotes for the dewatering up on the Valley Road property. That's scheduled to start Monday. So they'll get that going.
So that means once they're ready to deploy out in, they'll dig the hole first, and then what they'll do is they'll go out there once everything thaws, and they'll be able to get back to work.
Yeah, what's going to happen to the county, I talked to the county, sent them an email today, and asked them to put us on their schedule. They said we are on the schedule, it's just kind of floating, waiting for us. I said the dewatering hole is going to be dug within the next 2 weeks, and if they could put us on a schedule to start March 16th with the dredging.
Perfect.
And I gave them the location. I've already visited the site with their 2 guys there. They approved the site and the access road. It's a shorter distance, so we should be ready to go by the middle of March, and weather permitting, and be done before the end of March.
So I have the 2 letters that came to me from, for the grant, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was August of 26, we have to use the money
It was
by?
Lollipop.
Lollipop.
Yeah.
Alright, so is there any way to get an extension? Because we're not gonna technically start till, like, October, right?
Yeah, well, what happens is all we need is a contract.
Okay.
So what's gonna happen is I was talking to Dave about today, we're gonna push through, I'm getting the quotes in, we're gonna get that approved, those quotes to do the soils work and the bridge abutment design.
Right.
We'll get that in real quick, I get the bridge out and out to bid.
Okay.
And make it conditioned upon the dredging has to be done first. And then at the same time, we'll also get I gotta talk to the state, there's really not a contract we're gonna have to do the dredging, cause we're gonna have the county do it.
Yep.
So I just have to have it, maybe we can give them a letter of agreement that we have with the county. But we do have to set up a meeting with the county and talk to them about dredging Lollipop Pond. And I'm gonna try to, we probably will have enough room at the compost facility for the dredging of Lollipop, cause now that we can't do that whole internal island, the quantity of dredging is substantially less than it was originally there.
No way around that, huh?
We tried several times and they just,
And
they call it forested wetlands now, and they say it's just as pristine as the lake was, so they want that to remain. We have the same problem down here
that's
in the main
pristine.
body. Yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy. but-
Yeah, I know. It's, you know, it's a shame because, you know, obviously you said, Harvey Brook, or what we used to call Villa Piano Island, is back again.
Yep.
So,
Bigger than it was.
yeah,
twice
it's
as
way
big.
bigger now.
Yeah.
I was on the commission, I started on Deal Lake when that was being done at that time. But yeah, it's clear as day, it's bad.
Yeah,
And then we can't touch it,
right.
right? Okay.
So, well, eventually we're gonna have to go into one side or the other, kinda like we're doing with this, we're gonna dig out the trench on both sides. of
Yeah,
the
cause
lot.
you gotta let the water flow out.
And that's gonna make it easy, clog up much easier because you have a much narrower throat that it goes through now.
Will that, if we did that, would that help with any of the flooding that's behind that section? I mean,
There's not a whole lot behind it, but yes, anything we do to let flow get there, because once that goes over the spillway, it's a 5-foot drop, so there's plenty of capacity. We just gotta get it to the spillway.
so is there a possibility to try to maybe, you know, I know we were doing stream cleaning and stuff, you know, stream, whatever you wanna call it.
De-snagging.
De-snagging. Maybe we can try to get in there to trench this stuff before rainy season happens?
Well, what I was planning on doing is, once we dredge this in the fall,
Yeah.
is we're gonna de-snag upstream of it,
Okay,
right when we're done with this.
okay.
that'll help. It doesn't really flood a tremendous amount upstream of this, but any little bit will help. As long as we're doing this, we may as well finish the whole corridor there.
And any word from Sam, speaking of the stream cleaning and stream desnagging and the stormwater mitigation, any word from Avakian, Sam Avakian?
Yeah, I sent you that email. We're meeting on March, I think it was 17th at 10
Okay.
o'clock or something with the mayor over there.
Yeah,
I think I sent that to you too, Dave, with the meeting with them, yeah.
okay,
Set for mid-March.
alright.
Follow up on that, so what was the amount of the quotes, and is it covered under what we have budgeted?
The quotes for the dewatering hole and all? Yeah, that's all covered under the grant money we have.
Okay,
The dewatering hole was 53,000 to dig, and, the stream cleaning was 18,000, but that comes out of open space. I didn't get to that one yet, but that's, yeah, both, all the things we're doing are pretty much covered. We have the money to do it.
It costs $53,000 to dig a hole.
It's a big hole.
Ask us something.
It's 100 feet wide.
I do
by
have to
200.
say, Greg, that's a good
That was a
answer.
good answer.
I like it.
No, it's
I like it.
it's essentially,
$10,000
it's
hole.
4,500 cubic yard. Yeah, it's a hole, it's a large hole. And the problem is he has to pile it up so that he can truck it out slowly, so. but
Can't
yeah.
get the Boy Scouts to do it.
Nah, it's gonna take more than a shovel,
Eagle
yeah.
Scout project?
Yeah. Maybe they can help us take the dirt out after it dewaters. Okay, Lollipop, we kinda talked about. We are in for approvals, those were submitted in, early January. We did get all that worked out with them, they lost one of our checks, but we did get that worked out in mid-January. And then, like I mentioned, we have to reach out to the county for their assistance on the dredging again. So we'll have to go through that and get a quote from them what they're gonna charge us. Terrace Pond, Dave and I are gonna meet about that, it's a mod, we kinda, Mayor, you probably wanna be involved in this, we have to figure out the limits now of how much of Terrace Pond we wanna dredge. Cause when this all started, we were just doing it down by the third group T. Now it's kinda tripled in size, and I think everybody's looking for more than that. And also, we're gonna probably have to reach out to our legislature to get some.
What do we have earmarked for that right now?
We don't have any money.
We don't have any money, alright, so that's good, because we haven't asked for anything on that one yet, so,
But it's gonna-
assuming we can try to maybe get something, do we wanna do it now, or do we wanna wait till next year's budget?
no, we wanna do it this year, so it's in place for next year. We get 2 years to get a contract in place on it.
Yeah,
If we get some, in case we don't get enough this year, we can always ask for more next year.
and we're gonna work with the county again on that shared service agreement,
Yep.
so that'll save us a significant amount of money on the hauling away and stuff. The only problem is, we don't have a place to put it.
No, cause the volume that we're gonna be taking out of there now, only probably a third of it can go on the golf course and that berm we're talking about building between the 4th and 6th fairway.
Right.
So I don't know what we're gonna do with the rest of it, and that's gonna be our problem.
Well, let's try to be creative about it, I guess.
Yeah, well, it'd be pretty elevated. But that would have to probably talk and get Mike Patrico involved, because if we're gonna regrade, that's not a bad idea if you wanna put a little more contour to some of the fairways. That would get rid of a lot of.
Sounds like something that would be right up your alley, Greg.
Yeah, I would love it.
He's inspecting every day.
Yeah.
Lower the slope,
Or raise it, get some blind shots coming in and stuff, yeah.
score.
Next one is Snell's Pond. We have to kind of discuss with we're gonna probably do an assessment district, so we're gonna have to go out to set up a meeting with the neighbors and discuss that with them, and it's gonna be an all or nothing thing because it's private property, so
Yeah,
we'll set that up probably
Right.
for sometime in March.
So as a follow-up to that, there's enough interest of the people that wanna do it, that we're even gonna ask for the assessment district? I'm fine either way, I'm just
No,
curious.
we
Yeah.
haven't talked to anybody except one guy, so I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up an informational meeting and say, listen, there's some of the neighbors here wanna dredge this pond, and this is the results. If we're gonna do it, this is what the cost is gonna be. And I think that will pretty much probably put it to bed.
Even that one doesn't agree on
Right.
the scope of the assessment district.
Yeah.
He thinks it should be, he doesn't wanna pay as much, so there should be more people on it.
You right?
Depends on your point of view. I mean, if you're dredging the pond, the direct benefit is people that live on the pond,
Right.
right? He's saying, well, the drainage from the whole area drains into the pond, so everybody upstream gets a benefit from the pond. None of them are gonna agree with that.
And if I may, not that I'm encouraging a district, but is that our decision? Does the council make it, or, because,
Ultimately, yes, but I think the discussion is, correct from that, we want to get, because it's sort of voluntary, we want everybody who's gonna be affected to sign on and approve it.
Right.
before it comes to you for approval.
Right, makes
If
sense.
they don't all sign on and approve, you
Why
just,
do it?
we're not gonna do it.
But we
You-
can't do it because we did.
But you do have the authority, if you want, to ram it down their throats, but
We wouldn't do that.
I don't know why
Yeah.
you would.
no,
Is there anything downstream? To your point, upstream doesn't make sense, but does downstream?
Downstream, there's a spillway that goes into a storm pipe that comes out to Brookside, crosses Brookside and goes into the Poplar Brook. Through an easement through a yard to the south of that.
So would you say everybody, if you use that same argument, would you say everybody downstream on Popular would benefit?
No, they wouldn't benefit at all.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is, that's one of the arguments I made a while back is we could always pipe this pond. And then
He didn't like that idea.
he didn't like that idea, but that would take everybody out of the realm of having to.
We wouldn't have an assessment district if we did that.
Is that causing any backup flooding on Roller Road? Cause Poplar's connected.
No, it was the Poplar Brook. Poplar Brook, the Poplar Brook goes all the way across town, but now it's over here right behind, up to the north of us here off of Brookside. It's on the backside of Brookside, there's a pond, a private pond back in there called Snell's Pond. It affects, I think, like 14 properties. They own it to the center line of the pond. And we've been trying for the last 3 years to try to figure out how to do this. We actually brought the county in. County said they will not do it because it's on private property. So that kind of put us in a bind because of obviously the cost of dredging. We don't have the equipment to do that.
Does the town ever dredge that little, I guess it's a brook or whatever, that's on Roller?
On Roller Road.
Is it Roller, Fieldstone?
Yeah, well, we don't really jump into, we've not been back there in the pond. I know what you're talking about. We've actually cleaned out the stream quarters, the de-snagging program we have. We haven't been over there in a long time, but that'll probably, when we get done with the Whale Brook, we can go and clean that area out.
There's just flooding problems.
Yeah, we had a problem, last year we had a problem, we found out when the inlet was clogged.
Yeah.
So we cleaned that out and it worked fine, but that should be on regular maintenance of inspection.
Terrific. Thank you.
When I was a kid, that was a real pond, like you could go out on that thing. It's not much what it was.
Yeah.
The holes are even getting bigger, Dave.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing how big holes get.
Okay, the next thing is 1515 Logan. We're up for you guys to decide which way to go on that,
I actually.
with a broker or private.
Yeah.
The Bimler area, we're gonna meet sometime mid-March for the residents there. And I did meet with the fire department. They shot down my idea, so I'm just gonna relay all the information and say there's really not a lot of remedy to that traffic over there.
Both ideas?
Wait, they shot down any
Oh.
ideas?
Yeah,
Both of them?
yeah.
Wow. So there's nothing we could do over there to.
The only thing we could do is we could put stop signs in, right at Bimler, Bimler when it comes to that first tee. But that's really not gonna stop traffic from coming in, it's just gonna slow them down and jam up on the road. So it's a tough one.
Should be a revenue generator.
Well, that's an enforcement problem too, though, so that's the problem anyway, I mean, that's the whole, over town. Larchwood Lighting, we received the DR from JCP&L, it's in design. I reached out to Jose Ortiz, he said they're still in snow mode, but he will get those numbers going for us, cause I wanna see the price of that, this is to change all the lights on Larchwood, that'll push us into Saxony, Old Farm, and the rest of them. We wanna see the cost of the first one. The next one is the new DPW facility, Cindy Lane, we're waiting for the DEP permits for the LOI, which should probably be this summer. Did we?
Can I interrupt a second? Can you move the mic closer? Tom can't hear, so when you're talking, I'm just typing.
No
Come
problem.
on, Tom.
Okay, did we get the proposal from ARH to fill in the isolated area?
No.
We asked them for a proposal.
The AR's proposal that I got was for Beecroft.
Okay, so I'll send them another email and tell them to send us that proposal. Cause I wanna get that done in conjunction, cause that takes up a lot of area if we don't fill in that little finger of isolated wetlands.
What do you fill it in with what?
Just fill it in, dirt. There's an isolated pocket
To
of
use the
wetlands.
dredge spoils from it.
We can, and that's one of the things that I'm
So
eyeing up for,
Use what you can over there, and then go the other way. I mean, that's if we can use the dredge spoils, which is the biggest problem with any dredging project.
I was figuring we could put a berm all the way on the eastern side of that property, once we get the wetlands approved. But we gotta wait till the wetlands are approved before I can touch that area out there.
If we get approved, then we'll have space to put this stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of room actually, cause you can't use the first 50 feet anyway, so.
Right, so we could put a lot of spoils over there.
Mhm.
Would that be enough for terrace?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
That's all we need. We know we can get a target for firemen's by middle to end of March. Get that done. We'll be set for the fall for Lollipop and the bridge. Following year, we'll look at Terrace, and this is, you know, kind of working in conjunction with Seaview Square, because I talked to Peter. He told me that they already have the design done, right? They're getting it approved, so they should be working on that relatively soon.
Yeah, as soon as they get that approval, it'll go fast.
Yeah, okay, good.
Okay, stream cleaning. Desnagging Norwood to Larchwood is starting Monday. That's the first phase of the whale pond. So we started downstream, northeast corner of the town, from Norwood to Larchwood. That whale pond goes through that. That's the northern border of the town. That'll all be desnagged in about a week or so, but they're starting Monday, weather permitting. Stream cleaning in Allenhurst. They've on West Allenhurst. This is the gentleman, Mr. Matut.
Not West Allenhurst, West Deal.
West Deal, yeah. He said no.
Feel
Said
far.
no.
He
Why?
said no, and the conversation went downhill very fast after that.
Hey, Geeta, let's
About all
get a
sorts of
meeting with
things.
this, with him.
And it had nothing to do, and he talked about everything except the dredging, about the number of garbage cans he has, the number of collections, his taxes, and.
Doesn't he realize
Said
that
I'm the engineer.
doesn't he realize that if we desnag, it'll protect his property?
I told him, but he just.
I mean, he's not paying for it.
Yeah,
We're paying for it.
I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
All right, I'll take a run at it. with Geeta.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna do, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
The new
I'll help
light.
the whole town. I'll help him too.
Yeah. I mean, it will flow through there better. It's not going to really do a whole lot of good for the
I
front of
think
your
that's
flood.
been our issue when we went over by Poplar when we went 2 summers ago. Yeah, I mean it was all clogged. It's
Yep.
clogged up.
Yep.
Guy had a dam down there. No wonder we kept getting flooded
Yeah.
out.
Yep. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Next one is the light at Deal and Poplar. The DOT, I've talked to them. They said they're ready to go with the design. Their design is complete. They're ready to put out the bid. Actually, I skipped the wrong one.
You're talking
I
about
was Cold Indian,
and
Deal and Cold Indian.
Right.
Yeah, the design is done. They're looking for to go out to bid. JCP and all is just waiting to finish the design. I'm sure the snow last week probably slowed them down a little bit. So they will be getting to that probably in the next week or so, hopefully. Then I got the light at Deal and Poplar. That's the one with the left turn lane. He's gonna be putting that in probably in the next month. They're just waiting for that the equipment to come in. I also talked to the owner of Ocean Plaza. This is about putting the fence along the Strollo's property, or Strollo Ice Cream, so the kids won't run into Road A.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that. He's gonna put a split rail fence up there.
Good.
Stop them from doing that.
While we're on that topic, who's responsible for paving plowing the road?
The Loop Road A,
Yeah,
the owner is, the owner of the complex, the plaza.
very dangerous at the corner of, in front of the hotel. All that
Big
snow.
mound.
That doesn't, the road doesn't go there. Oh, yes, it does, yeah, down,
To take the
yeah,
turn, so
yeah.
if somebody's coming, you get caught.
There's a big mound.
Let's
Is it?
just leave it at that, so,
Okay, I'll tell him.
yeah.
There's a few on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing was just, we kind of talked about too, all the other streetlights that will follow Larchwood. So that ends all the things I have.
All right.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So, could you give us any update on Kepwell?
Kempo is done. We're just waiting for the springtime. We will reseed that, because we just put a winter seed on it because of the time it was done. But probably sometime, I'll say in mid-April, we'll
Are we
reseed that.
adding anything?
No,
It's just the bathrooms?
well, we haven't, we have to go, we're gonna submit a CDBG application to the county to put the bathrooms in. We already done that once, we weren't successful,
Okay.
but we hadn't planned on, there was nothing on the boards to put anything there. You guys hadn't come up with anything other than the bathroom. So if we get the funding, then we were gonna put that in. But we really, nothing was really discussed of the use of that property other than taking that building down.
Would that come up in the future?
That's up to you guys. I mean, I don't know what,
Cause there's nothing there now, and the
right,
structure's down.
other than the playground,
But
yeah.
there's some ideas.
We had talked about
Yeah.
potentially putting a pavilion up there at some
Yeah.
point,
What,
but
We didn't get,
We-
we didn't get past the
yeah, we
phase
just
off.
we just got the Kepwell a few years ago, and they just did the house. I mean, it's definitely could be in the works. We just have to get through budget and stuff, and we
Yeah,
can
it's
talk
not a
about
dead idea. There's, they make these concrete lounge chairs, we could put up these permanent umbrella type things, so you can have a nice view of the lake, and there's some great ideas.
in the parking?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you guys
Yeah.
wanna do, it's just, you don't really wanna do anything until you kinda have a full design of what you wanna do,
Okay.
because you don't wanna pigeonhole yourself into a bad spot,
Right, when are we applying for the, CDBG grant?
this fall.
Right, okay, and that's for the for the
Yeah, for the
bathroom.
bathroom, yeah.
Okay.
And then I have a second question.
Can I follow up on the first one?
Oh,
Did
sure.
we just do your original plan, or did we listen to Jim and revise it?
No, all we did was take the house down, and the original plan was take the house down and blade it off to the
So
level surface.
all the stuff that Jim brought us with the elevations and everything.
Yeah.
Is he an
Staff's
engineer?
He
He's very knowledgeable.
he does,
In engineering?
he has done county paths, parks before. I don't know exactly what his
Oh, I
expertise
don't know if I've
is.
ever seen Jim, what's Jim's last name? Oh, that was the plan that he just showed, like a parking lot or something.
Well,
Yeah, I did
the
that, I
elevation,
couldn't,
not the parking lot, but he
Yeah.
said that we could go farther, and so I was there when it was getting
Yeah.
done, but I don't know how.
yeah, no,
far.
I really didn't look at that, because like I said, I don't think you wanna go and commit to putting something until we do a plan for all of it.
Well, it was to expand it was to make it,
But he just, I think, said make a parking lot, he wanted to grade it and stuff.
he wanted to make it go out farther so that the slope wasn't as great, so that we could develop more.
Well, the thing that's there now, it's a pretty flat slope, relatively speaking, you know, the slopes out there around it are much greater than the property where the house was. It's probably got 2 or 3% slope in there, and we can change it however you wanna change it, it's just, and when we figure out what we wanna do, then we'll fix it.
What about trails going
Yeah,
around?
and those you kinda wanna let go with nature, but,
I mean, he's very knowledgeable about the property. I've been down there with him. The other question I had was, I know there's been several emails from the resident. I'm not 100% remembering the name of the road, but it's about an apron. And I know you've been responding back. Is there any?
oh, on Carberry?
Yes.
Yes, the
Is there
wellness.
any update? Because I know that they've been waiting and.
I sent them the last email about 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
what the final design was, because couldn't see on the plans where it was, so I explained to him what it was, and I haven't heard back from him since, so I'm assuming he's okay with it, cause in about 2 to 3 weeks, we're gonna be putting that in.
Okay.
But he has to realize that whole thing is off his property, that whole apron, the pipe where it ends is at the property line, it's actually on the neighboring properties behind them, which is, I forget who owns that, the people who own the school there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They own that whole piece of property, and they gave us an easement to put that apron, that's what took so long to get it in there, but, yeah, that's all,
So it's happening soon.
Yes,
That's
very
a good
soon.
thing.
just took a while, because of the easement we needed.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Greg?
Yeah, just unrelated to your list, but, I know I sound like a broken record sometimes.
Join the club.
Not at all.
No,
Not
it's
at all.
just the street paving, I feel like it's so important to people, and they wanna know when their street is coming up, is there any way we could put the list on the website?
Well, that's why I said earlier, I'm gonna have the 26 list done probably next week,
Okay.
so we can put that up. The 25 list, I think, was already on, but we'll
It
re-put
is,
that
but
up.
it's not, I don't know where it went,
Okay,
so,
well, we'll re-put it up again.
okay.
So actually, what we could probably do, we'll put the 24, which is starting out at 25, will start midsummer, and 26 will start in the fall.
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah, so these will be the 3 projects, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, and then, you were going back and forth with something April first about the curbing, and we had said we'll talk about it in the meeting, I don't know if it's something we're interested in, is still the curbing in April first, I did
Yeah.
plan on the paving.
Well, generally, we don't address curbing at all unless it's part of the road program. We
Right.
don't just go out and do curbing and
Right.
sidewalks, really. But the gentleman I was speaking to, he wanted me to analyze 2 streets up there, I did, and his whole section of street, there's no curb or sidewalk in the whole street. So that would be a road that we would probably not be willing to do, because you're gonna have to go through an assessment district with all the neighbors on that street, and I don't think they're gonna wanna,
What
they
street?
would, we would pay for the curb,
What
but they would
street
have to pay for the sidewalk.
What street was it?
Chatham, maybe?
Yeah, one was Chatham and then
Oh.
the one next to Chatham. That was both-
Delaware or?
I think it was Delaware.
Freehold
Okay,
or-
that
Now
way.
you had, they're 4 blocks long, both streets.
Yep.
And one end of one street, both ends of one street, I think it was Chatham, had
Yep.
curbing on it,
Yep.
and aprons. And in the middle sections, there was very little on one and none on the other. Delaware was pretty sparse for curbing on any of the 4 pieces. One, I think the southern end had curbing, but the other 3
We just
pieces.
paid them.
We didn't pave,
The
we
water
did, the water
company or
company
somebody
paved it,
did,
yes.
yeah.
Why would certain properties have curbing?
It just, when the developer developed it, he didn't, sometimes they put curb in. Some people will do that when they get a new house, they'll come in with, you know, they build a new house, they want curb in front of it for the curb
Yeah.
appeal. So you'll see sporadically through the town, one piece of curb in front of the guy's house, and it's mostly because they don't want people pulling off of the street and onto their grass.
So if
Which-
he wanted to, can
He
he? put
can
his
put it on
own
himself,
permit?
yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
He just has to
yeah,
get,
it's not
yeah,
just-
he just has to come and get a permit from Public Works, a
How
road
much does
opening
that
permit.
cost to figure out the permit?
He would, his cost would probably be, for him to do it, would probably be about $20 a foot, a linear foot, so it's 100 feet is $2,000. But the problem is he's gonna have to post a bond, which is not very expensive, but you have to go through the rigmarole of posting a bond
Right.
and putting up inspection fees, and then he gets it all back if he hires a good contractor, because inspection and everything goes well. If it doesn't, that's when you have some fun. In general, they hire the cheapest guy, which means you have a lot of fun.
Got it.
But, yeah, they can put their own in if they like, but we just have to review it to make sure that it doesn't cause any drainage problems anywhere, but that's totally possible.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Anybody else for Greg?
So the only question I had, and I don't know if this is the correct question, but I noticed the potholes are ginormous. So,
TAR's gotta open up by, March 15th.
yeah, so I guess we probably need to evaluate the giant bomb craters that are along the roads now
Yeah.
after the paving and the salt.
Yeah, but my guys ride around and survey that for me.
Uh,
But that is, the filling of the potholes is DPW.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'll pass that on to public works.
Yeah, you have to call them, I mean, we had a
And
couple roads out
when
there.
you talking about the asphalt, are they open yet?
Not till March
March
15th.
15th, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, they're usually, usually the 15th
you're not
is their
getting
opening
anything
date.
filled till then?
It's a
Well, we do-
byproduct
we
of
have
all
a
the snow,
hot
you
patch
know?
we can put in,
Yep.
but it doesn't last long, we can put a hot patch in.
Yeah, it's always the 15th of March, 15th, 17th of March, they open up. We got a lot of complaints on Ring Road too in CV Square, so Dave reached out to the owner, and hopefully he'll be
Yeah, that was
filling the
pretty
paving,
bad.
it's in bad shape.
Yeah, and Sunset South is bad.
Ring Road, just so everybody knows on TV, that's the mall,
Yeah.
CV Square Mall.
Privately owned.
Yeah. Privately owned, not ours.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions for Greg?
Nope.
Alright, motion to go in closed.
Thank you.
Second?
Wait. Dave, do you have anything or is it all closed?
We
You
can't
can-
ask other questions about anything?
What about agenda?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I just had two questions.
Okay, go ahead
Is
real
it-
quick. Yeah, cause Dave's got, a few things.
Okay, this is not closed session.
Okay.
I was just wondering why we pay a monthly dump fee, to the county, and that it's not part of our taxpayer money, that goes to the county. Cause it's $56,000 every time we go to, I guess, the dump. So that's one question, and then the other one was, the taxpayers pay the Board of Ed for the use of the buses, so why isn't it like a shared service why is the town paying $4,500 to the school district? Those are the only two.
It's just for the summer months, for the camp.
Yeah.
But isn't it like the same money, like taxpayers are paying for
No,
the buses,
Not for
so.
their buses, that's their budget. So we pay them to utilize the buses for the camps. They do it every summer.
Okay.
Same thing with the county, we utilize their landfill to dump everything, we have to pay for it.
That's for the garbage disposal.
I mean, that doesn't seem fair, honestly, in my opinion, because like
Hold
we're
on, I'll send you
already
Tom's number.
paying.
Yeah, call Tommy.
But you know, I mean, I was just at that tax presentation, we're paying,
It's
what is it,
Not a bad idea, I would give 'em a
26%?
call.
You know, so it's a lot of money over 12 months, $56,000 each month.
Should
Um,
add it up on 54 towns, it adds up pretty good for them too.
yeah. So those were my only two, thank you.
Motion to go in closed.
Second.
Alright,
He made it.
Motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Let's go in closed. When you're ready.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Napolitani,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher,
Here.
Council Members Achara,
Here?
Kaplan, and Tellerico.
Here.
Can everyone please stand and do a pledge of allegiance and remain standing as we do a silent prayer. This silent prayer today will be for Father Eugenius. He's a little sick right now, so we're sending our prayers to Father Eugenius from the Greek Church up the street, hoping for a speedy recovery. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. You may be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 18, 2025. There are 2 emergency exits to my right that'll take you to the front of the building. There's one to the rear that'll take you to the back of the building. Please make sure that all your cell phones are turned off, and if you need to make a call, kindly step outside. We are going to start with council comments. I'll start down at the end with Deputy Mayor Dave Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. I have, of course, these unprecedented back-to-back storms. I want to thank our DPW, OEM, Ocean Township Police Department, and anybody else who helped out. These are trying times, and unfortunately, it's not an easy job to move all that snow. But I did, sometimes there's a post-mortem when these things occur, and one of the things that did come out, there are people who have contacted all of us, and they are essential personnel that need rides to the hospitals, they need rides to, work where they need situations that they have to get there. And I think we, as discussed with Tom Rue from OEM, we want to put these people on one central list so it's not so haphazard. So the best way to do this is to send an email to oem@oceantwp.org. Tom Rue is going to be in charge, but I think it makes a lot of sense to do something like that. So the other thing I wanted to put out there, and I know unfortunately when you're sitting home with cabin fever, is that you love to put stuff on the internet like, everything stinks. But the problem is the township is not monitoring Ocean Cares. So if you have an issue, if you have a problem, if it's a critical problem, you're obviously going to call 911, call the police department. But if you have issues, you got to contact OEM, because otherwise you're screaming into a forest and nobody's hearing you. So just want to let the public know that there really is no better way than contacting the town. Otherwise, you're just yelling into a long hallway. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kaplan.
Just to, again, as always, echo Deputy Mayor Fisher's gratitude to OEM, to our DPW. They really were amazing and responsive in getting to where they needed to be during the snowstorm. Just a few updates. Last week was a busy meeting week, so I attended a Complete Streets Ocean Township meeting. They unfortunately are ineligible for the grant that they're seeking, but we are discussing speed limit reductions in certain streets in Monmouth. Hopefully we can make some changes that'll be make things safer for pedestrians and for bikers, and conversations are ongoing, but we're getting there, and hopefully that'll lead to some positive improvements. I also attended a tax presentation last week for state and local officials that was hosted by the Board of County Commissioners. The purpose of the meeting was to explain the tax assessment program in Monmouth County, and it was very informative. They broke it down very easily, and they're going to try to break it down for residents more clearly in any way that they can. They did mention a website that I wanted to put out there. One of the assessors mentioned it, propertytaxmath.org, to kind of make things more easily accessible for residents. So I think it'll help explain the counties, the municipalities, the school board's role in our property taxes. So I encourage everybody to kind of get educated in that area. And lastly, our country's 250th anniversary is coming up. So we're gearing towards some fun events this spring and summer. We have a Flag Day celebration, I believe that's June 14th, and a special 4th of July celebration. We're planning a bike parade for our kids, and we have a great committee led by Jen Nordstrom, a bunch of town employees, including Jesse, and volunteers, and so keep an eye out for some announcements of those events. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Nacera.
This morning, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This morning, the Chamber of Commerce had a breakfast and business event over at the new Renaissance by Marriott, the Residence Inn. And they had Diane Raver, who is the executive director of the New Jersey Film Festival. Nearly 40 people there. It was a tremendous turnout. I bring that up for two reasons. One, if you're interested in film, there are a number of courses that are being offered at Brookdale as part of the overall program. But two, the number of people that were there that were interested in jobs and the ability for them to get certified to do those jobs, and a lot of them were from Ocean Township. They were very excited about it, but the businesses in Ocean, as we've been talking about through the Economic Development Committee, through the Chamber of Commerce, through the Council, year and a half, 2 years ago, we did pass a film ordinance to make it easier for, and I learned the term, we're film ready in Ocean Township. So those ordinances exist, and if people are looking to do films in Ocean, we're certainly ready for that. The other thing I'll mention on the chamber, if I can, Mayor, is the luncheon that we usually have, the scholarship luncheon, which is taking place at the Renaissance on March 24th. I've mentioned in the past, and you go on the website to see all the nominees. All the award winners. I won't mention that again, but it is Tuesday, March the 24th, 11:30 at the Renaissance. If you're interested, website is gotcc.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilwoman Talarico.
Thank you, Mayor. I also wanted to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to the leadership and staff of the Office of Emergency Management, Department of Public Works, Police and Fire Departments. Special thanks to our Director, Tom Rue, and our Director, Steve Higgins. These departments worked tirelessly to help clear the streets, manage crisis after crisis, and did this with the best interests of our residents in mind. As a first responder myself and a past supervisor of a county crisis unit, I could not be prouder of the work that was done over this past weekend and Monday and Tuesday. So thank you to all. I did want to just share that the Office of Emergency Management created a warming center, and it was highly beneficial, providing food, water, charging stations, and shelter to residents without power or heat. So I did work a 4-hour shift there and interacted with many who were medically vulnerable, elderly, or had special needs. So I hope that this can continue in the future for emergency crisis management. I also attended the county tax presentation given by our Monmouth County Tax Assessor, and I just have one thing to add. They all did discuss they want taxpayers to better understand how the ADP functions, the Assessment Development Program, how property tax levy distributions work, and to encourage transparency in assessments. So additionally, they're developing ways to answer any questions the public may have about annual tax assessments. And I did post a summary under my own Facebook page, Councilwoman Grace Ann Tellerica. I also attended the League of Municipalities training on orientation for newly elected officials. Wanted to just share that the next Thursday is the Shade Tree and Environmental Commission meetings, and they start at 7 p.m. And, sorry, a lot more. I did want to ask about the emergency management plan for the age-restricted apartment complex or housing that's to be filed with OEM. So I wanted to bring that up. But I also want to say that over this, emergency and snowstorm, I think we do need to tighten up the landlord-tenant ordinances and rules to ensure that our residents who live in the apartments are being treated adequately, fairly, with regards to cleanliness, upkeep of floors and buildings, ensure that they have heat, air conditioning, hot water, a staff maintenance worker on site, and proper garbage disposal. I'd like to see an emergency management plan prepared and provided by every apartment building in town for age restricted by law and ones that also have children living at them. And I guess that's it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Dave Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to echo what the governing body has already said, but send my extreme gratefulness for a job well done, as the township employees were exemplary through this blizzard of 2026, which we have not seen this amount of snow in a very long time. So I believe that they tackled it with all their might and did the very best they could. And we're still doing some post blizzard cleanup, and for some of our employees, they have a lot of paperwork that they're going to be working on now too, as we hopefully file in accordance with the emergency that the governor called. So I want to thank everybody for their hard work and their diligent work.
Thank you, Dave. And I will also start off with that, and I'll add one extra person. That was Jose from JCP&L. We have a new representative that was beyond anything I could ever imagine with giving information out so that we could find out how many outages we had. He and I were on the phone till 11:30 2 nights in a row. Him giving me updates. They were chipping away at these numbers. We were over 1,000. We were down to 2 yesterday, and they were done. So they were really they moved. They brought crews in from all over the place. Very, very impressed with it. I'm going to thank Councilwoman Tallarico for being over at the warming center. This was a team effort. I have to say, Tommy Hardy running the crews out on the roads made everything really, really run smoothly. I'm on the road myself because I own a snow removal company, and most of my clients are in Ocean Township. So being on the road and seeing it firsthand, I have to say they did a phenomenal job with what they were dealt in this storm. So again, I want to thank Tom Hardy. I want to thank Steve Higgins, of course, Mike Sorrentino, our chief of police, and most importantly, Tom Rue, who really put major hours in. Thank you to the whole crew, and the coordination was phenomenal. We have our annual St. Patrick's Day dinner dance celebration, and that will be at the Renaissance. Trying to pull up my... okay, so we have full page ad sponsors, we have half page, we have business. Tickets are $55 a person. It will be at the Renaissance March 12th. We have the Eddie Testa Band playing. It's always a blast with Eddie. Jen just texted me now, and it looks like we are selling a lot. So I would get your tickets as soon as you can. It's always a great evening. Again, that's March 12th. And we have sponsors for our community celebrations that we have within the municipality. Not everything's paid out of the budget. We rely on sponsors. One person that committed to me today was Gino DeLomo from Shrewsbury Volkswagen. $10,000 sponsor for the municipality. That is going to help us do an incredible amount of things that we want to do for the year. And that's just the start. We do have a $25,000 sponsor because it is the 250th. So if we know anybody with some nice deep pockets, that would be nice if we could grab that as well. But we are looking at enhancing the fireworks this year. And as Councilwoman Kaplan stated, they've been meeting, the county's been meeting, they've been gearing up for 2 years. And we're, really excited about what can come forth. I believe there's a 250th gala on June 25th. More details will be coming out. The county's planning a lot of different things. Now, again, we've got some really good things going on here in Ocean Township. Okay, so we are going to go into the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion on these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on the agenda, and it's not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. Opening up to the residents right now, is there anyone that has any questions on the consent agenda? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Alex Hayes, Oakhurst. Resolution 3 I put on my notes. So sorry. That is, Resolution 4, the change order for the pedestrian bridge. This is what I brought up last week because it was actually in the last meeting. It was in the all the documents, but it wasn't on the agenda, or vice versa. I thought that pedestrian bridge was going to be paid for privately. So are you all paying for this additional $7,000 or what? $6,000?
Okay. Any other questions?
I think on ordinances, but that's later.
Okay, cool. No, we are not paying for that. That's going to be reimbursed by, I believe, by Meg and David. So they're all set to reimburse. Got to find out from Ricky how they're going to do that, right?
Actually,
Already done, Mayor.
Already done? Good.
It's already been paid for?
Yeah.
Why do you guys even have to approve it if it's private?
It's on our property.
Yeah, we have to run it through local public contract law and follow the regular procedures. So what they did was give us a grant to cover everything.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
and just for the record, Alex, that is to approve payment to the contractor to do the work.
Yes, I
So the money's there.
got that, but okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard on any items on the consent agenda only? Just all the items on the consent agenda. If you have any questions not on the agenda, that'll be after we vote on the ordinances. Yep. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
As a fan.
Do I have a motion to,
So moved.
second?
Second.
Roll
Achara?
call.
Yes.
Achara? Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talerico?
So this is resolution 1 to 11, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And Naplatani?
Yes. Individual action vouchers in the amount of $2,063,956.58. Someone please offer.
I'll offer the consent agenda vouchers.
Okay. That's individual action. No big
Individual
deal.
action vouchers, sorry.
Yep. Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talerico?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinances up for adoption. The first one has been withdrawn. That's ordinance 2534, so that is off the schedule tonight. We have ordinance 2535, which is an ordinance to repeal and replace section 21-9A, affordable housing development fees, and section 21-B, affordable housing. Can someone please open up public discussion on ordinance 2535?
I move to open public discussion on ordinance 2535.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2535, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Alex Hayes, Oakhurst. Somehow I read these online in a different order, so I'm assuming you had two affordable housing type ordinances, so I hope I'm getting the right one. So the one about the fees, I believe, is the one about.
Wait, we're on 2535. Is that the one?
Yes.
That's the one about the fees, man.
The one about the fees is about the rehabbing of units, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and the other one's about zoning. Okay, so.
You got it.
And I'm going to quote here: the municipalities shall dedicate a minimum average hard cost of $10,000 for each to be rehabbed through this program. So, two questions: are we paying for any of these renovations that might happen in this town?
No, we shouldn't. This should be coming from the builder.
So, what does that line in there mean?
You got to tell me where you're at.
I just cut and pasted, and I'm quoting: the municipality shall dedicate a minimum average hard cost of $10,000 for each unit to be rehabilitated through this program, and in addition shall dedicate associated rehabilitation program soft costs such as case management, inspection fees, and work write-ups.
It's a lot of pages.
I know there's a lot of pages. I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah.
Number D. I'm repeating her.
Okay. What page number, you know?
If only somebody had it open, they could probably do Control F and then search $10,000 under this ordinance.
Yeah, let me get back to you on this one because I just want clarification myself. But to my understanding, the builders pay. But in this case, the way this is worded, it's saying that the municipality.
Does that come out of the
will
trust
have,
fund, Dave?
That's what I'm thinking, but
Yeah.
I just want clarity before I say that so that I get a correct answer.
There's an affordable housing trust fund that developers pay into over a period of time when they're redeveloping. So we have a trust fund. I think we're in the upwards of $3 to $4 million. So they can based upon what's said in there, it might be earmarked out of those funds.
If you could explain that though, maybe in an email to me, because even if the developers are paying into it, I don't get why we would then be giving them back $10,000 per unit. Because I read that entire ordinance as this is the ordinance that allows apartment complexes to rehab units, potentially raising rents. Because it says that in there that the landlords may raise rents. So I'm wondering, what complexes are we talking here? How many apartments? Like, what's the goal of this? Are we getting 30 new apartments are going to have, new kitchens? Or what does this mean by rehabbing apartments? Thank you.
Dave, yeah, if you can get that together and then send an email over to Alex, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks.
gonna pass.
That question was for now, though.
Oh, that's an unanswerable question because a lot of this is language that's coming from the state that we have to incorporate in here. So there may or may not be any, like, I don't know of any apartment units coming online right now. These would apply to the ones that are here right now.
But
So if they went to go do their rehab like now, once this is adopted and the days go by after the adoption, then these rules will be in effect. So if someone walked into the building department and said, I want to rehab X amount of units, all of these new regulations would be in place.
Sure. So if you're a Middlebrook apartment dweller, who uses that term, renter, what are there, hundreds of units there? So surely we must know, like, have we heard from whoever owns these complexes? Yes, raise your hand. I'm going to be rehabbing 72 apartments, because those residents should probably know that their rents are going to go up.
True, but we have not heard about anybody doing this. This is coming from the state of New Jersey through all that was passed at the end of last year, and we're updating all of our regulations to meet compliance.
Okay. All right.
If I can just say, this ordinance, this form of ordinance is being adopted by towns all over the state of New Jersey, and it is adopting the rules that are enacted by the state. So it's not just Ocean that's deciding how it's done.
Sure.
It's the state really is deciding how it's done, and it's being implemented now through the towns. I understand your question about the effect it might have.
Because you all don't really take questions from 2 weeks ago when this was on the agenda. So if any resident of any of these apartment complexes in town, which is in the probably thousands, right, of homeowners or renters, they might have wanted to come here and be like, what? You're doing something, even if it's state imposed, that could raise my rent?
They can come here at any public meeting and ask that
Sure.
question. The town still has to implement these, adopt these by March 15th in order to comply with the state regulatory structure. So, fair questions. If anybody wants to come and ask about their particular unit, sure, anytime at all, or ask Dave. But it would not affect the enactment of this ordinance tonight, which is required by state law.
I hope there's some education and some communication to our apartment complexes and the tenants. Thank you.
Yeah, the game plan is that once all of this stuff the dust settles, we get it all passed, we're going to bring in our affordable housing expert, who knows way more than I do, to come in and speak and be able to answer those questions, and we can invite the public as well.
Can I ask a question? So are we having the special meeting on the 12th? Can we withdraw this one and put it on for the 12th, since it meets the deadline?
No,
of
we have to
15th?
pass it on.
Can't withdraw it.
Can't.
No.
You have to if you withdraw it, you gotta.
Oh, it withdraws no choice. Can we postpone the vote to get the answer? I mean,
We're
if
having the public hearing on
this is an
No,
option.
no, this is the 2535.
this one, carrying two until the
Oh,
public
carrying this
hearing
one
is
as
on
well.
the 12th.
Oh, it doesn't say that.
Yes, it does. Carry-
Where?
Public hearing carried to 3/12/26.
Oh. Then why did we even bring it up?
Okay. Motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2535.
I'll move to close public discussion on ordinance 2535.
Second.
Second.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talarico?
Yes.
And Napolitani. So this one is being.
Yes.
We're not adopting it, it's being carried to, we probably shouldn't have even
Yeah,
discussed
we
it.
need a
We're
public
go-
hearing.
And the affordable housing people will be there at that meeting. Go.
Good answer.
So I'm gonna just cover us real quick. I would say, Counselor, we need a motion to introduce ordinance 2535, since we're voting on it next week.
No, it was introduced, I believe, at the last meeting.
So we're not voting on this tonight. Introductions of ordinance 2536, which is an ordinance establishing a cap bank for the year 2026 in accordance with NJSA 40A-4-45.14. Someone please introduce ordinance 2536.
I move to introduce ordinance 2536.
Second.
Second.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talarico?
No.
And Napolitani.
Yes. We'll have its public hearing on the 26th of March. Ordinance 2538, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21, the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, Article 4, zoning provisions, section 21-17, establishment zones, section 21-18, official tax map. Someone please introduce ordinance 2538.
I'll move to introduce ordinance 2538.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talerico?
Yes.
Napolitani?
Yes, that too will have its public hearing on the 12th of March.
You doing 2037?
I skipped 37?
Mayor, can I ask
Oh.
the attorney a question, please?
On
On the ordinance.
The one we're gonna do now,
36, because I thought, or I'm sorry, 2535, I thought we were bringing it to the next meeting and then voting to adopt it?
That's correct.
Yes, we are.
Okay, that is correct.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. My apologies.
Ordinance 2537, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 12 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965, prohibiting parking along Helen Court. Can someone please introduce ordinance 2537?
I'll move to introduce ordinance 2537.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Talerico?
Yes, 2537.
Right. Napolitani?
Yes, that too will have its public hearing on the 26th of March. And 2538 is on the 12th of March. Okay, we're going to open it up to public comment on anything germane to the Township of Ocean. You have a 5-minute limit, so please get all your questions out, and we will either answer them or we will have Dave or our attorney.
Alex Hayes, Oakhurst. Thank you, Grace Ann, for explaining, because I don't know if there's a buzz, and it was hard to understand when you guys tabled or postponed or whatever that was. It's also hard to tell if you're going to have a public hearing or not on each ordinance, because I thought you were going to have one on ordinance 3, but now that's going to be again for the other one. So I'm going to still ask some questions on that one, and I think I hinted at this maybe the last meeting too. So the way I understand that ordinance is you're creating new overlay zones, right?
2536 you're talking about, or
I'm talking about 2538 now.
2538, okay.
So there's two areas, the English Manor Inclusionary Overlay Zone and then one on Herbert. So we're going to be increasing the number of potential units that could get on any acre. I'm looking still to find out, do we have developers interested? How many acres are we looking at so that we can know how many units are potentially, even if you have no developers right now, you all should know that there's 7 acres, 27 acres, I don't know. So then if I can do the math, I'll know how many units could potentially be coming. So my question is, how many acres and how many units, and do we have developers? Okay, so those are a couple of questions. I also want to know who owns the land right now in those 2 overlay zones. And then back to my general questions. When I asked last week, because this is now the 3rd work session almost in a row, but in about 2 months, that you all have deleted public comment upstairs. And I had a question about it, like why couldn't, when you came down here because the work was late and you started this new meeting, why couldn't you all start with another work set, public comment, since you kind of bypassed us upstairs? And the attorney said it's up to the council to decide whether or not they can do that. My new question is, if it's on the publicly published agenda that there was to be a public comment in that work session, aren't you obligated to have a public comment before you close and go to closed session, or before you close to come down here for the 6:30? So wait, but I'm not done because I'll just go through my list. Is the DPW site at Cindy Lane? I thought we still weren't there yet, but now you all just said you're going to have permits by the summer. That's what Greg said upstairs, that permits should be ready by the summer. So are we building something new, and who's paying for that? The new DPW by Cindy Lane? I know it's a lot of questions. Let's see. And then I guess my last question is, when you go down, like the tax rolls and all the things that you may or may not, give extra, if somebody wins in a tax court, and so I keep seeing these addresses in our agendas, and then I see LLC next to them. So I'd like to know, how do I find out how many LLCs own individual single-family homes in this town? That might have been like 9 questions. I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
I'm like,
It's okay. Anything else? Any other
I
questions?
was under 5 minutes. And it would have been nice to have chairs outside because you guys didn't have the meeting upstairs and then you shut the door, so there were people waiting in the hallway.
That's my,
Thank you.
my fault, sorry.
Okay. Public comment, I'm going to lob that over to our attorney.
Yep. The workshop session, if there's an executive session, this public session is considered one meeting. By law, the state law requires public comment to be allowed for any public meeting. So it's really a single public meeting. You can comment now. It is within the council's discretion. I don't think that, at least the agenda I have, didn't have that listed for the workshop session. And I think it's really a question of time. Honestly, it's if there's time available. If not, the time is now for questions, comments about workshop session items.
Thank you, Kevin. Permit Cindy Lane. We haven't made any decisions on Cindy Lane with anything.
No,
We're
the
still
only-
waiting to find out about its cleanup.
Yeah, the only permits at Cindy Lane that Greg had to be referring to is we're waiting on the New Jersey DEP to get back to us, and then there was a secondary filing that Greg wanted the other engineering company to do. That's what he was referring to, and that hasn't been filed yet. Well, he's referring to the first filing, which we would hope we would get permits by then, but I'm not holding my breath.
Me neither with the DEP. LLCs, we could get assessor to.
The tax assessor's office, you can go there. Actually, you might be able to do it online. If you go to tax assessor's webpage, you'll probably be able to go there and do a search. That would also back into your first question about the overlay zone owners. You can also plug those block and lots in and the owners will pop up. So you can get that. You can also open it as well. And as far as the overlay zones, we don't have any plans there. It's just another way to comply with the fair share housing litigation that was ongoing, and this was what we negotiated as a township to meet their wishes or negotiations to get that overlay zone. So the owners you can get from the tax assessor. You also asked something else after the owners. It was the acreage. You could probably get that from the assessor once you look up all the lots. And you had one more question there. There was another one. Oh, we don't have any developers. That's what it was. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step up to the microphone. State your name and address for the record.
Last name's Miller, Jeffrey Miller, lives on Alpern Avenue. And my question's about that, I forgot the exact number that you put on it, but Helen Court signage. Did you, by any chance, is it gonna read no standing and no parking and no standing? That standing issue is just as important.
Okay.
It's very narrow street. And by the way, I want to thank the police department, traffic fellows in traffic for working so. They were very thorough and extremely helpful. I had no idea of the procedure, and just note that we had a fire on Helen Court years ago. I'm on the Alpern side, and fire department couldn't get down there. They went across my lawn, which is, I'm not complaining about that. But just the fact that had to happen, it's kind of a little unsettling. With all the building going on, the trucks are coming through, and it's like the rest of Ocean Township growing every minute, but this is a particular extreme.
So, Mr. Miller, you want to know if it's not going to just say parking, but also no standing. Okay, we can speak to the police department about that.
And there's reasons for, good reason. It's a real narrow area, no sidewalks.
Okay.
So that's.
We'll mention it to the traffic department.
I don't know if that was mentioned in the
Okay.
original.
Dave will talk to the chief tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's not, the important thing is that people can go to work and get out and do what they need to do during the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Jonathan Shutman. I was here also last week, and I wanted to thank, first of all, Mrs. Tallarico for basically taking this taking this seriously and understanding how wrong the problem was that my mother-in-law was facing. And I want to thank her personally for that. I want to thank the mayor for showing up yesterday at my mother-in-law's and starting to get a look at what I think the surface does not tell us what's inside. And so if you look at all the promotional information on this community strategies or whatever it's called right now, but they're the people who have multitude heretic villages throughout the state. And if you look on the outside, it looks very nice. And I think the mayor found out yesterday, when you go inside, it tells an entirely different story. I used to work for a very good superintendent, and his mantra was, if it's monitored, it will get done. And I think that this board and also whomever is in charge of the conditions of the buildings in this township should make unannounced visits and cite what are basically very poor upkeep, very poor maintenance. If you look at, my mother-in-law was afraid to say something way back when. She was always not happy there, but she was afraid because she thought there would be retribution and that she wouldn't be able to get another lease. So I want that said publicly. Well, when the heat went bad, there was no longer anything we could do. We had to complain. And that complaint was carried by Mrs. Tallarico, but took a lot of time to get done. And then yesterday the mayor found out that it still hadn't been corrected adequately. And so if this board is going to approve more low-income housing, etc., this board should also be monitoring what's going on in these buildings. And so that's my suggestion to the town council. And again, I thank Mrs. Tallarico and I thank the mayor for showing up.
Thank you, Dr. Shutman. Appreciate those comments, and it was very nice to connect with your mother-in-law because I found out she graduated with my dad from Asbury Park. So that was a real nice thing, and have seen her at our super senior luncheons as well. She's a great lady. Love her. Anyone else wishing to be heard?
My name is Stephanie Spector Shutman. Wait, I'm very short. Stephanie Spector Shutman. Lived in Ocean Township all my life. And I do want to thank everyone here for taking where my mother lives at Heritage Village seriously. And before any fair share housing can be addressed, I think it's time to actually look at the way the residents that are in SES income housing are living now. In addition to my mom, when her apartment had a low of 47 and a high of 53 degrees inside, that was what she had to live with, again, for fear of being kicked out. And that's not just her, it's every resident there. They are afraid to open their mouths because they are afraid they will be evicted and they will have nowhere to go. And she is just one story. But to address fair share housing means before you can even move forward, you have Middlebrook apartments, you have Continental Gardens. There are all apartments everywhere. We are overdeveloped as it is. And I'm not against everybody having a place to live and a warm, safe environment. It's a matter of when you have existing housing, you can appropriate houses or apartments as they become available. And so this way, it's not just a heritage village with low-income housing people, but they are a part of a community, which is what a community of gracious living really is. It means everybody feels a sense of dignity where they live, and so they're not just sequestered into a building, or a building in Middlebrook, or a building in Continental Gardens. there are ways to use what we have now, because unless this township can watch and monitor every toilet that's flushed every day, every shower that's taken every day, the roads and the infrastructure that cannot accommodate what we have now for Deal Road and Whale Pond, which are one lane basically for most of that ride. We don't have the infrastructure to support anything more. And so, yeah, you do what you call drive-by assessments of land availability, but how does that account for knowing all the toilets that are flushed, all the dishwashers, all the laundry, all the potable water that we are using, all the electric, all the sewer? I don't understand this, to begin to even look at doing more when you're not taking care of the residents that are currently here. There seems to be a disconnect in my mind, and I really want this town. I believe in Ocean Township. I've lived here always, and I believe that the best can be yet to come, especially for the residents of Heritage Village and every other apartment complex like that, and for every resident to live with dignity, because you're going to walk in unannounced and see that all they do is say, oh, it's not our problem, we have to talk to corporate. And the corporate that owns Heritage Village is a woman who's worth over $500,000. So $500 million. Yes, I'm sorry, $500 million. She's worth over $660 million. One person. So you can't tell me that she can't have a licensed HVAC person on the premises 24/7, so that every resident who lives there doesn't just have my mom, for example, her furnace. There's water leaking into her furnace. She's on the top floor. How does that happen? How safe is that? And so they just call Dan the handyman, and he uses a wet vac to clean her unit out. And Grace Ann and her husband saw what that unit looks like. It's rusted from all the water that's come through. And this township should be looking at hers and every other apartment there. And thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Shutman. We are on top of this right now. I am meeting up with somebody next week to get a little more of an inside scoop on the building. Somebody that has a little bit more knowledge, and I want to really get some facts together, and then I'll go to our manager, who will then see how we're going to address this. But I assure you we are going to work on this. Thank you for letting us know. Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing you're none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned. See you on March 12th.